Today we are talking about focus, attention, about what we become aware of and how to use it to manifest our desires, the kind of life that we want to experience. Every state has limitations. In every state that you're inhabiting, at some point, you are going to hit a wall because we are always evolving. We have to. This is part of who we are. Every heaven becomes a hell at some point. You are going to outgrow your state and you are going to realize it doesn't suit me anymore. Maybe not everything, but parts of it, okay? So we are always going to see limitations, see circumstances that we don't want to experience. But when you gain control over your focus, over your attention, your awareness, what is going to happen is you are going to free yourself much faster from the hold of that 3D, and you are going to achieve your goals in a quicker way. Right now, you may be thinking, but I can't control my awareness. I can't control what kind of thoughts come up to my mind. And to a degree, you're right, because your natural thoughts, your natural assumptions are coming from your self-concept. These are the lenses that you are carrying every day, okay? And that is telling you how you see the world, how you experience the world. But it doesn't mean that you are doomed to think that way, to feel that way for the rest of your life. No, you can change it. Part of it is working on your self-concept, and that's why we always talk about self-concept here. But there are things that you can do to help you, to support you in changing the way that you see the world. So you can start thinking of your thought, every thought, as an option, as a possibility, and not like absolute truth. They are not, because they are directly connected to your state of consciousness. If you had a different state of consciousness, you would think differently about everything. So you can always question. It is important to understand that every thought that you have can be questioned. You can turn this into an option. But before I get into it, hello everyone. If you're new here, my name is Al. Welcome to my channel. If you're in need of coaching, go to the description box. The information is there. But right now, let's get into today's topic. We are not spectators of what is happening in front of us, how people are treating us, what the world is saying about us. We are shaping it consciously or subconsciously with our awareness. And this is important for you to know because this holds the key to your freedom. The way that we become aware of the world, the way that we experience the world is coming directly from our self-concept, our beliefs, our assumptions, our convictions. And this is very important to know because it tells you that if you change your self-concept, you are going to experience the world in a different way. So whatever thought that comes to your mind, it's not an absolute truth, okay? You can question it. You can make it align to the things that you want to experience. For example, I have a cousin that is really nervous during a job interview. So what happens with him is that he becomes so insecure that he does not transport the idea of I know what I'm talking about, okay? And then in the end, he ends up not getting the job, although he is qualified and he knows exactly what to do. So we were talking about this because I used to be the same. I used to be really nervous before a job interview, but I had a different story. My story was that being nervous was the sign that I would nail it, that I would get the job, because my story was that I work very well under pressure and that people would recognize that. And that's how it was. For me, I always got the job I wanted really easily, even if I was not the most qualified person, but I transported that sense of confidence. This is a good example on how your awareness works. What is the meaning that you are giving to things, okay? I was using what seemed to be a limitation to work for me and not against me. And this is something that everyone can do. Now, of course, I worked on my self-concept. I would not feel that nervous, okay? But in the meanwhile, you can use things to work for you. You can gain control over the stories that you are telling yourself. And this is going to create a different outcome for you. In the end, we are shaping our experiences with our awareness. Your most natural assumption is always going to come from your self-concept, okay? It's that. And most of the times, you are not even conscious about it. You're not there thinking, oh, I know I'm not good enough. I know I'm not qualified. I know I'm not this and that. But you're going to get that feeling, I'm not going to get the job. Maybe you don't even know where this is coming from, but this is coming from one of your beliefs about yourself, about who you are. You can change this anyway. You don't have to be like, oh my God, it's going to take me weeks until I change my self-concept and then I can have the job. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to realize that your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas are coming from that self-concept. So it is an option, okay? It is a possibility. It is not set in stone. It does not have to be that way. And at first, it's going to feel like this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. And you have to tell yourself, no, it is a possibility. So if it's telling me I'm going to fail, I'm not going to get to that relationship that I want, I'm not going to have the life that I want, then you look at it like it is a possibility, but it's not the possibility that I am going to choose, because there are others. There are other possibilities for me. Of course, this is only going to work if you become aware of your mental diet, okay? You have to become aware of your thoughts, of those feelings, of those assumptions, because then you can look at them almost as if it was an object, okay? You start thinking about the thought that you're having. You are looking at it from different sides and you realize this is a possibility. This is being offered to me, but it's not going to manifest until I decide that this is how it is, until it becomes real, true, natural to me, right? When you look at this as one interpretation of your self-concept, of the things that you can achieve, then you can introduce a different alternative, okay? You can introduce a different idea that you decide to focus on. If this is just an option, a possibility for me, then I can also achieve something else, right? And what I want to achieve is I do want to have that job. I do want to be with that person. I do want to have that kind of financial freedom, okay? I'm not seeing it right now, but the moment right now is not defining my future, okay? There are other possibilities for me. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know that this is possible for me. Even if it doesn't feel this way, but you always have a choice. You have a choice until you get that set on one thing, until it becomes a belief, a conviction, until this is how you experience that situation. But before that, you can always change. Is your negative thought a possibility? Yes, it's very possible. But so is a positive thought. So is a positive assumption, because nothing is done yet. And this is something that you have to realize and you have to accept. It's like the metaphor says. There are two wolves fighting within us. Which one is going to win? Whichever one you feed. Understanding that your sense of limitation is not real, because it's coming from your self-concept. It's not coming really from the outer world. It's your self-concept, okay? This is fundamental in changing your mindset, in deciding to work on the idea that you have about who you are, your identity. And if those beliefs and convictions are coming from experiences you had in the past that could have been traumatic, that could have been very hurtful, then you have to work through those feelings. They are there. You can't just ignore them, okay? We have to work through them. And working through them means that you sit with them without the story behind it. You do not focus on the story, what happened, because it's already in the past. You don't have to re-traumatize yourself every time when you think about it, okay? Just sit there with the feeling and feel it and look at it, observe it, give space to it and allow it to discharge. This is how we process emotions. You can choose where your awareness goes. It is in your hands, okay? You don't have to be 100% perfect. Nobody is 100% perfect. But when you realize that you are feeding into victim mentality, into lack mentality, when you are telling the stories that you do not want to experience, remind yourself, I do have a choice. That thought is just a possibility. It's not going to define what I experience and who I am, because everything's in change. Your self-concept can change. It feels very natural for you to think about yourself this way, to see life that way. But when you change your self-concept, you are going to look back and you are not going to understand yourself. It will not feel natural anymore because that's not what you are embodying. So remind yourself of that possibility. Nothing is set in stone. You always have a choice. So which wolf are you going to feed? Decide, okay? But make sure that you make your life amazing, that you are choosing things that are making your life better, are making yourself a better person, okay? That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to talk soon. Bye-bye.